Trading the foreign exchange market carries high risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Trading on margin, utilizing leverage can carry an even higher level of risk that can lead to a complete loss of investment funds. So before deciding to trade the foreign exchange market or using any of our software alert products, you should carefully and diligently consider your personal investment objectives, level of experience, and risk tolerance. There is a possibility that you could potentially sustain significant loss. You should not invest any capital or trade that you cannot afford to lose. It is your responsibility to be aware of and understand all risks associated with foreign exchange trading and to seek professional advice from an independent certified financial advisor if you have any doubts. Auvoria Prime does not exercise trading authority over your trades. You and you alone exercise discretionary trading authority over every trade.
Check the news. Today is Tuesday. We're all the way down here. Got a couple of red folders later on this evening with the Asian market, New Zealand. But up until then, it looks like it's fairly clean. Let's see, we had something earlier this morning to the Aussie, but right now there's a little bit of orange folder at 3 o'clock in the afternoon this morning. That's already behind us. So nothing special going on right now. So no worries there. Let's go and check out our Hercules and see what's hot, what's not. And earlier we had the British pound and Japanese yen. The British pound was strong, the yen was weak. Looks like it's starting to gain a little bit of strength here. That could just be a pullback right now. The yen is still overall as a weakness, so anything you see with the yen right now is a pullback. I did take a British yen trade earlier. I'm in that trade, and I'll show you where we're at with this one. Here's the British yen. We have a little zone up here at 152.62 to 152.68. That's a nice little target zone. We have all of our moving averages are moving in the right direction. And right now we have the strength to the British pound on our side. So we're looking, and we see we have a nice little strong little move up. Spin this a little bit. A nice little strong move up, a pullback, strong move up, a little bit of a pullback. Still looking for this little area to be challenged up in this area.
Are you long this one, Al?
I am long this one.
We took a long trade swing wise on this one last night. We're up 25 pips already.
All right.
Yeah, so that kind of goes together then. That's a good thing.
Confirms, yep. And let's see, where's the this one here is the there we go, that's where we are. And you can see I'm on my 5-minute chart. I'll go put on my 5-minute chart. I did get in right here. There was a fib line right here. It bounced off. I got filled in. Right now it's retracing back. I have another order setting right down. Actually, right now, no, take back. I just got filled with my second order. I decided if it came back on the 1-minute chart, pull this back a little bit. My first order was up here, right around this fib line right here, the green line. I got in there, and I took a second order right here at the 50% line. Now I do I pretty much took the range of the previous day's range where I drew my fib lines. So right now I'm right here, right at the 50% of this nice little up move coming up. And my stop is way down here, way off arm's way. It's below all these moving averages. It's below the 62 moving average, 30-minute 62 moving average. I'm just looking at this as just being a nice little pullback off of this up move that we had here earlier. And if I use it take my extension tool, go from this pivot low to this pivot high, and we'll see where this thing lies. Right now I'm looking to see about 40% pullback. When these two little lines get back to this little top here, I know I'm right at the 40% pullback of that up move. And that's about where I got into this, just a little bit below that is where I got into this second position. Now it takes the two positions, put them together. This is my break-even point right here. So if this thing comes back up to where this peak of this pivot is, which was retested up here. So there's a nice little move up, pull back, pivot, almost like a double top, came back, stronger pullback. Now if I can just move my target now from up here down to here, and I'll have my two positions out and I'll be out of this trade. And like I said, my stop is way down below, way over here. And so that's that one. So let's see, what else do we have here? Looks like the Swiss is fairly strong also. So we have this is the higher time frames at the top, the two top are higher time frames. 1 hour, 30-minute over here. And so Swiss is strong, dollar is weak, yen is weak, dollar is still weak over here. So we can probably start trading, maybe looking at the Swiss against the dollar for another pair to be looking at. So I'm gonna come over here to the Swiss dollar, Swiss.
Looks like we set up a swing on this last night too, but not. It's a set and forget. We're not in it.
Now, let's see. Let's go over to my 5-15 minute
Are you
chart.
looking to be short?
Well, let's see. The Swiss is strong, so that would be
Yep,
yes.
you're looking to be short. Same thing we are. Yep. Just
So
kind of
there's
trying
my
to
50
see
in my 50
how
minute
often we're
zones.
at the same direction.
Now, one thing I've noticed a lot of times whenever I actually look at the charts at this time of day, a lot of times this was right at one of these 15-minute fib lines. So yeah, you kind of have a choice. Either you can go just from the green to the blue, or you can maybe take it from the red to the blue. I kind of like, and then using this as my 50% of my Fibonacci tracement. Either way works, it spreads it out a little bit more. The fact I'm well below the green line, I'm going to go using the green to the blue. Since I'm going to be short, I'll be looking to see where it's coming out of that upper 25%, pulls back in, and then gives me the chance to get back in, to get into the trade. So I'm going to use it this way. Draw my lines on that one. Here's my upper 25%. You can see it's now coming. It's pretty much like an overshoot from the down move. It came out when 25% deep into the zone. Now we'll see if it's going to come back and retest that blue line. So there's my fibs. I go to my 5-minute chart. Double check my alignment here. And that one. We'll tweak this one a little bit. Lock it in. And right now you can see that it's went more than 25% deep. This is a nice strong little move coming down in. So I'm going to be looking for a pullback to get into the trade to take it down to this 5-minute red line. I'm just going to put these lines on just so you can see them a little bit better. So this is a 5-minute red. And we have a 5-minute green down here. And the blue line here is going to be right on the 5-minute blue. So right now, this is our zone we're looking in. Nice little move down, pull back. See how far this thing can pull back before it retraces again. I like to see a 40% pullback. So if it can pull back, so my stop zone, if it can pull back, we don't know where it's going to stop yet, but right now I'm projecting it's going to pull back 40%. Give me an entry. My stop will be in this little red zone, wherever that 1% of that up move is. This will be my projected stop zone. Come over to our 1-minute chart and see what we have over here. Now we can take this part off a little. Well, I'll leave that on because we're not sure where it's going to stop yet. So as this thing's climbing this way up here, we have a nice little, there's a little bit of rally, there's a little bit of base coming on up. So right now I could do a sell stop right below this red line and see if it comes back down, and I can just start moving it up. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to come over here to the sell, stop, set my order. I'm going to be looking at a 15 pip stop. I can put 2% of my risk. It already calculates what the size of my account is. Calculate the risk, calculate my target. It says I can take, it's going to be about almost a 5/10 of a lot size is what that's going to end up being. Getting closer. And I'm still looking at a sell stop. Say I'm going to put it right around the 90.28 area, which is right where I have it. Set the order. And the spread took me in, put me in. Huh. Let's see, 29, 30. Yep, that's right. The spread took me in on this one. So right now, this is my zone for my, we have a nice little bit of rejection about this point right over in this area. You come over here and you can see there's a little bit of a doji right over here. It came right up to that doji and it's rejected. Now we'll see it may still keep on going a little bit deeper. If it does, I can we'll wait and see if I want to take another position to dollar cost average the position. But right now I'm okay with this. My stop is way up here because I have my 15 pip stops way above the blue lines, way above this little area right here. And we do have the strength of the dollars on the 1 minute chart. The strength did flip over, but we still have the spread. We have a 5-point spread. That's dollars strong there too. So I have a 5-point spread on the 15-minute chart, and it's starting to give it up a little bit here. Sometimes these things can flip a lot faster than you think they're going to be. Right now we have that trade set. Next one. Let's see, Swiss. Swiss is still strong. Swiss is still strong. Swiss is still strong. So there's still no reason to panic. Dollar is still relatively weak on the 1 hour, the 30-minute, and it's in the bottom 3 of the 15-minute chart. So we're still good on that. And we can maybe look at maybe a Swiss yen trade or Swiss Aussie would be another possibility. Let's take a look at the Swiss Aussie. Swiss is the highest, strongest currency. So it's the second currency of this pair. So it's going to be looking to the strength to the downside. Nice little drop, no basing drop. We have a little trend line coming up from the bottom over here. Now let's get on 15-minute chart. I like drawing the directions on the 15. Here had a strong move up, came back, tested, based a little bit, then it just rocketed up. So I'm going to be using this little trend right in here as a continuation of this little trend. So I'm going to expand this up a little bit. Draw this trend line. Lock that in. This is a trend line. As you see, this is sort of higher highs, higher lows. It was very shallow incline, and then it just broke. So right now I'm looking at it's going to come back to retest this area, which it did right in here. Came back to retest this area where it broke and left. And we'll see what it's going to do. I'm going to hold off on this one a little bit. It does show that the Swiss franc is the lighter one. The Aussie is the green indicator. Nice spread on here. We have a 6-point spread. We're still looking for the strength of the Swiss to the downside. So right now we're looking at this. It came back down, pulled back, came back down. But I'm expected to see it bounce off of this little trend line right here. And that's not that far away. It's 66.76 to, that's only about 8 pips away. So I'm not going to take this thing short, knowing that this trend line is right here. So I'm going to hold off on that one. And let's see where else we have here. How's our British? So right now we have it's pulling back into our, so here's our 50%. Here's our lower the 38%, 38.2% fib line. It did cross, passed it, came back up, checked it, pulled back again. Now we're going to see if this thing's going to bounce and retest this area. So the 1 minute chart, you'll get these little flips, but right now you just don't know where it's going to stop. But here's a nice little rally. Here's the basing. You can see right now, if you look at this little area right here, if you draw it across, you see it just barely broke it. So this area has some significance. And then this one down here has some significance right in here. And we wait. Any questions so far?
We wait.
Let's see what we have here.
All right.
Let me just read through the chats and the questions here a little bit.
I don't think there really is anything there, Al. It's just chatter.
Okay. So yeah, nice. This thing had a nice little pullback. Let me just show something here. Let me just I'm going to redraw this. I'll come over here to the 15-minute chart. I think when I drew originally when I drew the Fibonacci's on this, let's see where we at here.
Although, just so you're aware, on the pound yen, that pivot created a new Sherlock zone. So even though it's there, it doesn't mean it won't bust through it. But we did create a new
right. Is you're showing
at
right
the recent pivot on a 15-minute.
Recent
right there. Right there.
Zone right here.
Mm-hmm.
On yours, okay. Yours did, mine didn't.
Well, mine's different, a little bit.
Yeah,
mine's based on a platform, a little bit tighter stuff too.
Yeah, but we do have. This was the zone I marked out at 62, 68. Let's say 152, 68, 152, 62. This is about 4 pip zone right up in here.
Which is right at your fib line.
Which is right at the fib line. And how about what are you showing? I see 151, 151, 51 to 39. It's a green zone. 51 to 39. Let me see how that looks.
Yeah, that's mine. It's right on the red line. It's crazy. Literally, the price has bounced off that resistance line at 151, 54 twice, 3 times actually.
Here's
4 times.
39, and here's 59. And then we're going to call this our green demand zone.
Crazy.
And you can see it's right at this fib line right here, this 15-minute fib line. This is a 15-minute red right there.
Right. And 150, you got 150, 154?
Yep.
And your zone that you drew, is your tool telling you it's that high?
Yeah.
Okay. It must be broker then.
Mine's actually 62, 68. I'm going to draw that one on here.
Yeah, mine's actually just a pip or two below those pivots. So my zone's completely green.
152.
I think you misdrew your demand zone looking at your last picture.
The last picture that when I drew it, one thing I have a little bit of an issue with is that when the price is right at these 15-minute levels, that's and it had a higher pivot below, and this one's bouncing off this red line. I almost like rather going to the next higher one using that whole range, because really what this is in that area between, right? And that's going to put it right at the 50% of the fib line. And that's why I drew that one. It's spanning not just the one zone, because if you're right at the pivot, you don't know whether it's going to go up high, especially when it came from up above. I don't know exactly which way it's going to go. So I drew.
Yeah, I was just saying that your green zone at the bottom that you
That's what
showed
it-
on your MT4.
Uh-huh.
Price wasn't into it yet.
Yeah, that's correct. It was drawn always from somewhere over here to the left of the screen.
Right. And when you drew it on your trading view, you're in it.
Oh,
I didn't know if
okay.
you wanted it. That's all I was just saying.
Oh, that's good. That's a good point.
It
They're different platforms.
may be because it's 151. Yeah. That's there's your difference.
Yeah,
There's your
and there
difference.
there's a difference right there. Yep.
I'm just trying to compare platforms because mine's looking different than your MT4, but I'm FXCM. So just doing comparisons as we're going through, and your numbers are a little small where I can't read them. So I'm trying to figure out what your numbers were. I'm trying to see if your Sherlock tool is as tight as mine is. Yeah, I agree with you. Of the top one, the 152.65, that area is your range. You're in the bottom. You're in the middle.
Yeah, we're
Overall.
right in the middle of this range. So when I draw the fibs, I just as soon draw it so I can catch the whole range. So
That's what I did.
I'm kind of referencing this pivot high, this pivot low, and when I put the fib lines on, I'll use this green line. Then I mean, you could just use it. I mean, it's just as easy to use the pivot to pivot if you want to. That's perfectly acceptable.
The only thing by stretching it out, Al, the only thing I see that does is that your percentages, the bottoms become very, very large.
Yeah,
That's
that is the difference. Yeah, and that's the compromise to that.
Yeah.
But I do like the fact that right now we have this little area right here.
We're coming back into the bottom where I could go long anyway. So per my rules, this doesn't phase me to have a small one. It's still good. Still good on it. Yen's been really good for us though.
Yeah, but see, this is how I made this work for me. I mean, I got in the spread. I mean, I actually put I had a sell stop or buy stop somewhere up around here. As soon as I clicked the button, the spread got me into the trade. So, but then I set another one down lower, right at the 50% line, and still looking for it to come on up to it. Ultimately, if I wanted to try and turn this into a day trade, this would be my target for the day. This was the range of yesterday's range.
I can see that because you got clear air all the way up.
Yeah, we have this. We still have the strength. The British pound is still strong. It's a 6-1 spread, so that's a 5-point spread. British pound's the purple one, so that's the strength. British pound's the first currency of the pair, so we're still looking at wanting to go long on this. Anything we see that on any of these pullbacks, that's just what they are. We're just looking at them as being pullbacks. And so we wait. But see, when I took that second position, here's where my dollar cost averages between these two pairs, the two positions. And now I'm going to be looking at, and I can just as soon go up to right up here for my 7 pips and see where this, the average is on this. I can go for my 7 pips for this off the average. And it shows 152.20. Tightens my target up a little bit. And see what happens.
And I really have to watch the spread on mine because I jumped into one and it looks like I got a 5-pip spread. And it's not 5 right now, but it was 5 when I got in.
Yeah.
So be careful, guys.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I took a couple trades last night, about 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock last night. It was the Swiss Aussie or something like that. And it had about 3-point spread on it. It did come out profitable, but usually I like to try and be out of my trades before I go to bed. So by the time I went to bed last night, it was just about right at the break-even point, just a little bit profitable. And so I just about before I took it out, I saw one last little spike, and then I was able to get out with a little bit of a profit. I don't usually like taking trades that late at night, but I'm trying to get a little bit of feel for the market that time.
No, I found that, like what we did last night in our swing, we didn't have any momentum trades that we did where the daily candle was with no wick at the bottom like I normally would do, or wick at the top. But we did go ahead and enter into a pound yen long based on where it was in the picture, similar to what we do here. But yeah, there's not a whole lot happening. But I find that a lot of the times when we do our set and forget for swing, the trade will hit overnight, which is a nice thing to be. I mean,
Yeah.
keeps your hands off of it.
There's a lot of good activity in the middle of the night. Just the question of whether, and I think that's where you just have to be willing to do set and forget trades. You set your target, set your stop, and then you go to bed and wake up and see if Santa Claus came.
Yeah. Yeah. And not a squatter, some squatter in your house that you don't know. It has to be Santa Claus.
Does this mean Al is being jokester?
Well, yeah, I'm not sure what's happening.
What's going on? It's got CBD oil.
Hey, no,
Yeah, really.
hey, I went to Orlando and I picked up swag.
Yeah, you got swag.
Correct.
It's like, how you got swag? You need to go see a doctor about that. Get that thing removed.
How did you get a swag bag?
Did I get a swag bag?
Yeah.
I got my swag bag. Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you.
They gave us a little goodie bag down there. I got my swag bag. They gave us all kinds of little things.
Good.
Mr. Hip Hop.
Yeah. There we go. Beware.
Yeah, beware. Bring out the pacemaker and the oxygen bag. Al is back in town.
Back. Yeah, starting to get my voice back a little bit. Still a little raspy, but
Apparently you don't need it. She seemed to be doing a fine job.
Speaking of Orlando, anybody in the room here? Anybody was in Orlando? Any people showed up down there? I'm looking for a few people that I saw down there that mentioned they were going to be coming into the room. I just want to make sure I recognize you.
Yeah, that swing stuff it's simple, but it's confusing if you don't know where you're starting from, for sure.
Like I said, you're on higher time frames with your swing trade. You're on higher time frames. You're looking at
so much to
daily
cram into 30 minutes too. If I had a little more time, I would go through the very basic stuff.
Are you here in Canada, Jodianne? Saying the borders just opened. I'm assuming you must be here. Could be wrong.
Yeah, because our Southwest
Europe.
is wide open.
There's some European countries that are still like
Caribbean. Tobago. Awesome.
That's a pretty area.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the speakers came in from Croatia. And he has some stories to tell. Everybody has stories to tell, which was, you just realize that people out here in Auvoria Prime they're from all walks of life, and there's nothing special about any of us. We're all here just because we're interested in trading and interested in changing our lives, and so this is why. And that's a commonality with anybody that wants to take control of their life and do what use some of the opportunities that we have available. Now let's go hunt for some more. See if there's anything else that's popping up here. How about New Zealand? Still
UK.
strong. Still New Zealand. What was that, Eva?
I said I just got out of a UK 100.
Oh, is that from earlier, or is that from yesterday?
I've only about 2 minutes ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the German 30. See if there's anything there.
It's not ready. I was just looking at it. It's not draw. Well, you do it differently than I do, so go ahead. For me, it's not ready.
Still percolating on Ava's side.
Yeah, it's
still percolating on my side.
And let's see, what have we got here? We have this 15-minute chart. We have some zones here. Let's see what we got. Coming right off of a 50-minute blue. And it's coming into it. I like these 15-minute blue zones, where the fib draws the 50-minute charts. The blue just seems to have a little bit more strength and confidence of holding, or either holding for support or holding for the. See, I'm looking at this thing's more. I'd be more apt to think this thing's going to retest this area and come down. If it breaks this, then we're probably heading one up. We had a nice big move down coming down. This was yesterday. I mean, that was a huge, that's a huge candle. And so right now it's got to get through this wick. Once it gets through this wick, it's going to come up and retest this little area right in here. See this little drop, strong candle down, little wick, small wick at the bottom of the red candle, small wick at the top of this big red candle. And so that's a wick over wick area like that. That's a significant area. I'm going to put that at retest. That's a retest zone. Inputs, tests. So like I said, if it does break through this area, if we get on the blue line, if it comes up, passes the blue line, closes, goes back, retests the blue line, then we're heading on up to the green one. And this is a green 15 minutes. It's a little ways up there still, but nonetheless, it's there. So really, so right now, here's our green zone, here's our blue zone, here's our red zone. You can see we're kind of right in between. So, I mean, you have your choice. You can either, if you're expecting a pullback, then you could draw it blue to the red. If you're expecting it to break through that blue zone, then you could draw it from the blue to the green. Right now it's in between. I kind of like drawing out between the green to the red to get that full zone and find out, because this is really halfway between the two major areas. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's see how it plays with the 50% at the 50% line. So all you're really doing is you're finding a range, you're finding the playground in between. You're just establishing your playground is what you're doing. You know, I think I made one too far. That's the one I want. That's better. I didn't think something looked right. Here's our 50-minute red. And you see right now it's pretty much in this upper, when you have the 50% zone, you have this little zone right up in here. So you can use this as your overshoot area and this is as your undershoot. Right now it's right at the undershoot area of the blue line. This is a significant zone. Now the question is it going to reject it and come back down, or is it going to break through and go back up? So right now this is in what I consider to be somewhat no man's land. You have this little wick right over here where it kind of, from the strong move down, came up, popped its nose up. That's a significant little wick right there. Put it right to the bodies. So this is a retest area as well. Put our moving averages up and see where they are right now. Right now, the moving averages are all pointing in the up direction. Right now, this little green hasn't crossed the yellow. And we'll just see if this is just going to be a small pullback and give another shot to the upside. Go to our lower time frame charts and take a look at it and see how it looks there. I'm not real thrilled about this up move because it's rather shallow. I like seeing it where they kind of shoot up a little bit. Look, I like seeing the angle on these. You see how just sort of real shallow? I like seeing it when they're going to go up like that and then come back to come back up and then come back and retest the area. This has just been a real gradual incline. So, like you said, I don't think this one's ready yet either. We don't know which way it's going to go.
Check with the UK 100, Al.
UK 100.
Might have something on there. I just set another buy stop on it.
UK 100. Do I have that on here?
It's just in the process of pulling back on the 5-minute. So check it out your way.
Let me duplicate and pull it up. $15-minute. I got my fibs on. Here's my blue zone. Here's my red zone. Again, it's right in the middle between the two. So I'm going to draw it from the blue to the red. There's green. So we're looking at, I'm going to just draw from the blue to the green. So we're going to do it that way. I just don't like having the extremes right where the price is. I like to keep the price somewhere in the middle and then see which way it's going to go. Here's my 15-minute red. Try the 50% line. Go to our 5-minute chart and take a look at it over there. Now keep in mind the spread on this one is a little bit more bold. And so right now it's in the pretty much the upper third area of this little area right in here. Little wick up. Here's, I'm seeing a wedge right now. So I'm seeing a wedge from this pivot to this pivot. And right there, there's our wedge. And so now the question is, there's a room to the downside of this. If this thing is, let's see, where's our, let's get our tools up here. Dollar, British pound. You want the British dollar, so we can take the rest of these off. And put auto. I like to see.
It looks like our pound yen took a tank, so I don't know. Something got weak. Does that affect the US or the UK?
Oh, I would think it would.
Yeah, your pound dropped.
And I'd say right now, yeah, right now the pound is the weaker of the three major currencies of the dollar, the euro. Dollar is the blue, euro is the red, and the pound is purple.
Did
right
you say
now,
something?
I just said I think it's just pulling back on the UK 100, whatever it is the pound did.
Yeah, the pound showing weakness, which means the UK 100 should be, I would expect it to be more going into the up direction. So I'm looking at this being more of a pullback.
Yeah, that's what I think.
And right now, that's a 40% pullback of this little move right up here. Right now, it's right at the 40% pullback. We go to our 1-minute chart. Moving averages are all pointing down, but right now we're looking at this 62 moving average right here. It's finding its way. It's finding right at the 40% retracement of this move. So we got a strong move up, retracing 40%. This could be an area to probably take this thing long. I'd like to get a little bit more confirmation right now. Had this was a nice little move up, pull back. If we do let's see where the pound, and the pound is right, number 3. So the pound's still relatively weak. And let's see dollar wise from the let's do 71.12 to the wedge at 71.23. So that's about 12 pip, about $12 move. That's enough range to take the trade. And how much stop would we need? 11 to a $2 stop. Has a $3 spread on it, so that's, you got to be careful with that. I'm going to see if this thing kind of comes up, retest this moving average, it comes back down. If it can't break down the second time, I maybe want to take the trade down here right around the 71.11 area. And measure the area from here to here. Make a stick out of it. Puts us right at the 61.8. This candle closes on the net one. I'm going to probably try and take an entry on this one.
What goes up must come down, and what goes down must come up. There's a song there somewhere.
We got a rejection off of this little area right down here. I'm going to take a shot at this one. $10.
You can do it.
I'm just going to do 1% on this one. I believe that's a 10. Still, I think we won 100 on this. $71.13. We'll do a limit order on this one. $71.13. May not get me in.
Which broker are you using?
This is right now. This the broker. I'm not using any broker. This is my trading view chart. So I've got to do a paper trade because I don't have a broker that's tied to this one.
Oh, okay. Thanks. So I was just looking at
Yeah.
sometimes
Now, if you have
spread.
Envy, Envy doesn't. We'll have to see if we can't get Envy on trading view. That might be really helpful.
Yeah, my envy's just over $1 spread.
So limit. So we're going to. Looks like I bring it back down a little bit more here. Let's just try to do a 71.14 buy stop on this one. Let's see if I can get this thing right here. Let's just do this. Let's try this again. Buy stop, 71.14. 1%. Why is that not letting me do that? 1.0.
I don't know, remember we were having this issue the other day?
There you go. I just had too big of a lot size. Let's just try it this way. And the target's going to be 71.22. Take profit 71.22. 71.22. See, it's retesting this area. So it came up. Nice move down. We got a little bit of a width, trend line going here. So this is actually going a little bit deeper. And the pound's still kind of weak, so it's still a little bit deeper pullback. This is one reason why I like buy stops and sell stops, because that way, if it's in a retracement mode, and it keeps on going, it doesn't get you in until it gives you another chance to get a little bit better entry. Now, one thing I'm looking at this where we had a nice little trend over here. Let me draw a trend line. Had this little wick. Boy, look at this thing tanking.
It's tanking. Look at that.
It's melting away.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm. There's a little trap right here. Oh, we don't need this tool anymore. This could be the trap. Let's see, 71.02 to 70.96. For about $6 move there. It's still showing weakness, so it's still showing weakness. That still tells me that it should be going to the upside.
Was there any kind of news this morning, Al?
Not for this one. It's not on Forex Factory. Let's try FX Book. Maybe that might have something to. Sometimes that one shows a little bit more of that than the other one does.
Oh, yeah. Although it's due to have high, but I don't think.
There, see what we got August 3rd.
Oh, that's New Zealand, sorry.
Not seeing anything. Some medium folders here right around 10, 9:30, but that's still way far away. So, nope, not seeing anything there.
Crazy switch of strength is what it is.
It is, and what still boggles me a little bit is that it's still showing that the British pound is still weak. And then generally when it's weak, it's usually going to the upside. So like I said, things don't always hold true.
Yeah, something weird happened. Look, it's still going.
But
The yen got majorly strong across the board, though.
What did?
The yen got majorly strong.
It doesn't bode for
So something goes, because that's our safe currency. Something went wrong.
Yeah, something went wrong. Weird. The Germans doing the same thing. The Euro Stocks 50 is doing the same thing. The S&P is doing the same thing. Like it just seems to be across the board. The US 30 is doing the same thing.
Some sort of announcement must have happened. Somebody decides something.
Yeah.
Something
Just-
somewhere. I mean, while crypto's flying through the roof.
An 80s song just popped in my head. This
On
is the
air?
end as we know it.
Oh, please do tell.
Y'all
Yeah.
remember that song? This is the end as we know it.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
This is the end as we know it. I don't know why that song popped in my head.
because you're a crazy man. That's why.
I know I'm watching all these charts crash, and I'm thinking, okay, here's the end.
You know, here's the argument that I've often used when it comes to do you trade fundamentals or do you trade technicals? And what I'm saying, what I've always said was that the technicals will show you before you ever hear it on the news, before it's ever, because the people that know what's going on, they take their positions, they move the market before the news ever gets out. I mean, to talk about insider information, there's not supposed to be insider information, but trust me, there's insider information. People know.
Wow, things are just, it's crazy. Like the S&P too. It's just like everything
It may be cleaning house too.
here and
Well,
there.
also, don't forget, this is the first week of the month. So there's a lot of position taking going on right now. Don't forget, on Friday is non-farm payroll Friday. So you're going to see a lot of this. Like I said, the first week of the month, sometimes it's not a bad time to sort of keep your powder dry because you get a lot of these volatile moves like this as these institutions are taking their positions. This little area right here, this little green fib line right here, this is I think this is a significant area. Just use these wicks. Now use this trend line right here. Let me get another extension. Yeah, this thing just blew through all these. So actually this fib line.
Mark's giving you the lyrics there, Brian. So sing it again.
This is the end of the world as you know it. And I feel fine.
This is really this early.
It's killing me. The fact that we know that song is crazy.
All these
You
years
know
that
that-
we still
no.
know it.
The fact that I don't know that song.
I think you do.
Do I?
It was very popular. It's just maybe like right at the moment, but I'm sure if Brian sang some more, you know it.
My brain goes, it's on music all the time. I hear a word and I'm going, okay, there's a song. It's really weird. I guess if you've done that for 20 years and you hear all sorts of stuff.
This is our 25% zones right now. This is our new playground that we have. Here's a little wick up here. Here's some overshoot on the trend line. This is the green fib line. Here's our playground between the two 25% zones. I might be okay taking a long right here off this long candle. Bounce right into this area. I'd probably like to see it start losing a little bit of its momentum to the downside though, before I do that. Oh, wait, here it is. There's a drop, little base, drop. Here's a little wedge coming in right here, my 1 minute chart. Let's go to 5 minute though. That might be a little bit more. Drop.
I can't
base.
get rid of the song out of my head. crazy.
Brian.
I know. You only got one more week of this.
That's a shame,
Yeah, we're gonna miss you.
to be honest.
As the crowd saying, only one more week.
Push through, everybody. Just push through.
Yeah. Yeah. The countdown begins. It's like going to Christmas, you know.
There's a drop, base, drop. Now we're gonna see if it's going to retest. This is a nice little wedge developing right in here. Looks like maybe a higher low, and that's my projection. Let's see.
It's the final countdown. That's good. That's another good one. As we're sitting here watching our money fly away. Good stuff.
I like this little red candle with a nice big wick, and now I'm seeing the rejection here. Kind of liking this. Buy limit, buy stop. 15,553. Let's see, where's the fib on this one? Buy at 15,549. I kind of like that. That'd be right about in this area. With a take profit of 15,558. 94. Do that too for period. Buy stop if I can get in there at have a limit. By one, buy stop. There we go. There it's sitting. Close this one out. And so we got in at 15,552-ish. And looking for the green fib line right about there. Got to figure out these position sizes on this. Haven't quite got that figured out yet.
On the German.
Yeah. On the trading view chart. So look at that target being right about 15,559. Trying to get consolidation right in here. Here's a little drop, here's a little basing. So we have our target below this basing. I think it's going to come up and retest this area. There's a little doji, a little bit of indecision there. Right now, every pip is worth 50 cents. And this is sort of establishing an upper channel.
It looks like the pound yen has stopped the bleeding for a little while.
Yeah, so is the DEX.
And those who were in the session last night with the Aussie Swiss short are happy if they got in, because that seemed to be working out real nice so far. The other ones are just kind of, pound yen is right back to where we were when we entered. A little bit better, but not far off. So this must be a key area.
You see this coming right up to that fib line. See that green fib line? See how it came right up and rejected it? Well, let's see, next year's line right there. But I don't think it's done yet. But it knew it was there. They like that price level.
This one's tied to the pound?
This one should be tied to the euro.
The euro.
The red one. Here's another little doji. Have equilibrium. Buyers and sellers couldn't decide who won. See how it came up? It broke through the top of this trend line. This BD line came up, couldn't close. That was a strong candle up. So I'm going to draw a line on the 5-minute close candle. Right there's 39.40. We'll see how the 5-minute candle closes. Like right now, when the price gets on top of this yellow line, that'll be the opening of the next 5-minute candle. And this was at just one. We have about another minute and a half, I think. There's a new candle. So the next candle that when this candle closes, that's going to tell us where the 5-minute candle closed. You can just see it so much easier on the 1 minute. Okay, so what 5-minute candle closed inside the wedge. Now let's see if we're going to get a pass and check on this. Here's our high. And we have our trap down here. It did make from this down move, it did make a new high from the B. And right now, is it making a new a higher low from this AC line? This point here is still higher than where the C is. So we had the strong move down, we had the pivot low. Came up, made a, well, it retraced part of that big red candle. Came back down, made a higher low. Then it made a higher high. Now it made a higher low. Here's our projection for the next higher high. As long as it doesn't break the A, I'm still okay with this trade. This is our trapper down here. And then from an Elliott wave standpoint, this could be the beginning of a wave 1. Wave 2 would be the retracement. Then wave 3, this D could be all the way on up. Draw it out for you. Here's 1, wave 2, wave 3. Wave 3 cannot be any lower than the A, the 1 and 2, which would put it all the way up, probably right about there. Wave 4 pullback. And then wave 5 on up to test. That's the projection. And if you draw your stick, and you take it from the bottom of the trend line to the D. When it breaks the D, this will be your first target for your target 3, leg 3. And I'll make that target 1. Let me take some of this off here so it doesn't look so cluttered. Then we just have to wait for this to develop. It will probably start really moving right around just before right around the 9 o'clock time. I would expect this thing to start maybe making this retracement back. And if it comes back in here and breaks through this A, I'm out of this trade. I move my 5-minute candle over here to the, see, this is 45, was right there. We did get a 5-minute candle close right here with a nice little green bar.
It's like they're all waiting expectantly.
Yep, yeah, they're all waiting just
They're
to
all
see
doing
what.
the exact same thing.
But had a nice
That
little
brings
move
another
down.
song to mind.
Of course it does.
I've been waiting by Foreigner. I've been waiting for a girl like you. There again, there goes the words. Yeah, I'm just watching this thing, seeing if it's going to, try to understand what Al's talking about. Elliott wave. Al, how reliable is Elliott wave?
I think when it presents itself, I think it's pretty reliable, especially on these turnaround points. I really do like it for the turnaround points. You get the strong move down. Basically, you're forming your W right now. Strong move down. Here's the middle of the W. Come back down. And what's critical is that this low doesn't break this. If it breaks that, now I'll allow it break it for the spread, just for the spread factor. But once that's but if this can hold, then this AB leg is your leg 1. This is your leg 2. Then you're looking at your leg 3 of being where the D is going to be, should be higher than that stick. So here's our range. And then once it breaks, then this actually let me try this. Let's go from here. Here's your leg 1.
And that goes from the pivot low. To a pivot high, back to a
Yep.
low.
Right. That's your leg one. And then your leg two is going to be the retracement back. And then your leg three is going to be, remember, with Elliott wave formation, leg three cannot be any less than leg AB. So with that, right now that's holding true. Now we don't know exactly how far that pullback is going to go, but right now this is where it is. Had another rejection off of this point. Like I said, if it came all the way down here, all bets are off. Redraw. But when you get this formation off of a strong move down, I'm looking at, this is the first target. This leg three has to be up here. And then when I start seeing the zones, here's a blue 2-minute line right here. Here's our blue line right here, right at the top of this. So here's our zone right there.
Mm.
We have the crossover now. We have the crossover moving averages. We had the strong move down into our 25%. Came back out of the 25%, pulled back in, couldn't break through the A. That's our first leg one. Here's our leg two. Now we're looking for leg three. Now this thing could come back down and move this C point down here. But as long as it stays a little bit above that, we're still good. It still falls in the parameters. But once it breaks the B, then we've got confirmation of our Elliott wave. That's what makes this wedge area so somewhat fairly powerful. And here's our green fib line here. So from here to here is our next fib zones on the 1 minute chart.
Definitely can be a waiting game.
Yeah, for sure.
Most traders don't like that though. And that's why most traders lose.
Patience. What was that quote that you had with Warren Buffett? Said something about the patient and educated.
Take money from the impatient and uneducated.
That's the one. Yep.
Money transfers from the educated and patient to the impatient and uneducated.
Yep.
I can tell you that bankers are not sitting around worried about what you're doing today.
No,
I can promise you that.
That's for sure.
Yep. Pound yen is kind of in a, well, on our swing side of things, Eden, let me go look at that real quick just to see what it looks like overall.
Let's take a look at that while we're pretty well set up on this right now.
I'm going to look at this on
I've got my
swing,
stop
though.
below. I've got my target set. We can go take a look at the Tanya. Oh boy.
Let me look at this real quick on the big picture while y'all are looking on the low picture. There we go.
There's a low 25.
I'm saying, since you're saying it's kicking your butt, you are probably long and you're probably in a very short term time frame, because on the daily, this is normal. There's nothing abnormal. It's exactly what we talked about last night. It's still sitting exactly where we were last night. And as a matter of fact, Edens, if this gives you any confidence, last night in the swing session, we noticed that the speculative sentiment index was at 1.45, and now it is at 1.57, meaning that more people are short, which normally means that this had room to move higher up. So it's doing it. That's the cool thing about swing trading and the comparison of scalping. Scalping, you're waiting a lot less time, but the moves seem extremely exaggerated. On swing trading, you're waiting a lot longer, and the moves aren't all that big, because if you look at the daily candle, it's very, very small at this point. So it all comes down to perspective. But if you traded that trade as a scalping or intraday trade, you need to keep it that. Don't turn it into a swing trade by moving your stops, because that goes against your plan, and that could end up potentially caught. Because if you're position sizing for an intraday trade and you all of a sudden move your stop to make it swing, so you're afraid of being wrong, you end up multiplying your loss exponentially, and you don't want to do that.
Right now, I think this thing's going to go back to going retest this upper 25%.
Which one are you looking at? Are you looking at pound yen?
Yeah.
On your 15-minute?
Yes.
Okay, let me go back.
Strong move down, based in here. Here's our lower 25% of our fib range. Pulled back out, came back in, tested, pulled back out. Now it's coming back to retest another, this developing this trend line. So here's the anchor, here's it. Now we don't know exactly where this thing's going to go. But right now, this is showing this back into the lower 25% zone. And it made a new high. So here's a high, higher low, higher high. And it's right now retesting this little area right in here.
Yeah, I think
I could possibly be a buyer in this one.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I was thinking too.
Here's the pound strong. The Japanese yen is still stronger, but it's losing a lot of ground right here. You have this moving average coming down. I don't like that part. All the moving averages are not in the right order to be taking this thing long. Right now, it's more like a pullback on a short, but it's starting to turn
scalping
around.
Trade for a scalping trade.
This would be a contra trend scalping trade if I were to take this one up to this area right here, which would be 90 to, you got 10 pips to the moving average right here. Put my fibs on. Here's my green line. Here's my red line right here. Get it close above this red line. I could probably take this thing long. I'd like to see the 5-minute close above it. 1 minute red, 1 minute, 2-minute red. This thing's still hanging in there. Back to British pound, see what that's doing here. See how the moving average came up? The green could not cross the yellow on this pullback. It still has some energy to the downside. The thing I don't like about taking this thing short is you're already down into this lower 25% zone. Came into it and it's pulled back out. Now it's coming back in to retest it. And here's the blue zone right here. So right now it's playing in between here. And once it gets out of this area, we're looking at this and then this.
Strangely quiet day.
Everybody's brains are working overtime.
But the market was weird. It was not, I mean,
Yeah.
I got in this morning, I got one trade in and took it. But after that, it's been just kind of weird.
Well, that big push down on all three markets of the UK 100, the DAX, and then the S&P, that just sort of changed the playground for everything because you had all three currency pairs just tanked. Well, they were all three markets, the stock markets of the German 30, the UK 100, the S&P 500, they all tanked. But there was but we saw no rhyme or reason for it. But
Just
that's
out of nowhere.
Just out of nowhere. But I still think it's finding its little bit of a basing down here. I still have this. I'm still looking at this thing's going to go back up again. This zone held, so I would be looking at this soon. If I were to go long on this, I'd be looking at using this for a stop, and then this one for a target. I'm still waiting to see if it's going to come down and hit this blue zone. You see, we have three zones. This 25% range. We've got three blue zones in here, three 2-minute zones in here. Attack this one. I would come down. In fact, I'm going to put a buy order. I buy. Let's see, was that? That's the 15-minute blue right there. We'll just wait and see when this thing decides where it bounces, where it's going to turn around.
Where's it going to go?
Yeah, you don't know. And you don't want to try and catch a falling knife either.
There's got to be a song there.
Catch a falling star.
Yeah, I had that one in my head, but I was about to say that one. Catch a falling star. Oh gosh.
See, with these indicators showing that the yen is so much stronger, you don't want to try and get, but you want to try and find where it's going to bounce.
Yeah, this one may be going down a little deeper. There's a daily demand zone on our pound yen, so it's in the middle of a daily demand zone. So it's not like weird if you look at a high time frame. But where did you come from and where did you go? Yeah, there you go. Next on Hawkeye session, it will be karaoke day.
Oh, Danielle, that's very nice. Thanks. Because you had a winning trade. This is. I will say that the Hercules told us to take this thing short, and to stay in it short. Let's see what my 5-minute zones are. Yeah, we got 5-minute zone right there at the 2-minute blue. That's what I like about this right now, where this thing's holding. trend line still, we still have the anchor. We're still waiting for the first rejection of a trend line. We just don't know where that's going to be yet. But once we get a strong move off of this, we'll find a pivot low. Once we can get a strong move off of that, then we've established the second hit, and we wait for the third hit on the trend line to go back up. So right now, this is a potential first hit. I still want to see the crossover of the green to the yellow, and then come back and retest this thing. So it's just not quite ready yet. Our German 30, how's that doing? Still looking for it to come up to our target area. So far, that one's still working out.
Now we are up against the clock.
Okay, I guess we probably ought to wrap it up. Yeah, it is Tuesday. It is Tuesday. I don't know if anybody's coming in behind us or not. They may be. So with that, keep your eye on this German 30. We're still looking at a target of 15,563. And if it breaks through this A zone, then I'm going to be out of this trade. I'll give it 2 pips. That's it. That's where I got my stop. So, but right now I'm feeling pretty good that it's going to come up there at the target. So
Please don't go, girl. Yeah, I know that song too. Please don't go, girl. I hope that's
Oh
the one
my
you were talking
God.
about, Mark. Yeah, Mark's my kind of guy.
but once we get these new channels set up, we'll be able to keep on going if we choose to do so.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
So with that, thanks everybody for coming in. Be careful. Remember, this is still the first week of the month, so a lot of institutions are getting their positions for the month. So just be careful, and thanks for coming in. Love every one of you, and stay green. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow.